a big piece of the puzzle. Every doctor that's been looking for some kind of treatment for COVID has said, and there's a lot of scientific literature that supports vitamin D being effective in treating COVID. And in some cases, some of these doctors, and I'm not giving medical advice, this is education, this is not medical advice. One of these particular doctors was saying that, you know, you've got to take zinc. Zinc is what cracks the cell open to get the vitamin D in.
Right.
And in some cases, they were dosing patients with anywhere from 50,000 IUs to 300,000 IUs of vitamin D in one day in a patient. That's like way, I mean,
that's a lot.
We're supposed to take, if you're in a flu season or whatever you want to call it, if you're concerned about being exposed to COVID or the flu,
right,
then vitamin D at 10,000 IUs for a normal adult is a typical daily dose. 5,000 for a kid, 10,000 for an adult. So 50,000 to 300,000 is quite a leap. That's a big leap.
It doesn't take a really long time to build up in your system.
It takes time to build up.
Is that like is more better? I guess.
Well, here's
how
the
much
thing.
Can you really absorb?
So
and we have our resident doctor.
I
on
know.
the other side of the room.
We can
I
ask
wish you
Dr.
would
Joe
kind of
if he wants to
let
come
us
and
know.
weigh in on this.
Because I find that when I had low D and I took D, it took like a full year
Took a while.
to come up.
Well, in my
relatively normal
background studying Ayurvedic medicine and complementary medicine, vitamin D was never able to hit the numbers it was supposed to hit unless you got sunshine in the eyes. So you needed to be outside without your sunglasses on. You obviously don't want to look at the sun, but just being outside. And I wear contact lenses mostly, so I'll try to get my dose of sunshine just going outside, taking off my glasses, and just being outside without my lenses in, without sunglasses on. So you really get that natural organic D from the sun.
Right.
So anything that you're going to get from a supplement is going to be contingent upon your body's ability to absorb it.
Right.
So if you have poor absorption and your gut's imbalanced, taking a vitamin D, you might not get much.
Right.
If you're healthy and you have high absorption and you see short transit time in your stools,
okay,
then you know if you know you have a quick transit time and your body turns things over, you know, in an efficient manner, and you have high absorption, then taking a supplement is going to be helpful. But zinc is an important piece to that D.
We love zinc.
And right, Dr. Joe? And magnesium, I was just going to say, and vitamin K. One of the things that one of the docs was saying last night about magnesium, he was advising taking it to bowel tolerance. You know,
until you're really going.
Because magnesium through your skin.
He's saying you also.
Yeah, well, that was what the doc said. He said you can take magnesium by dietary supplement, but it takes a while to replenish. It takes about 4 months if you take magnesium at high levels every day. He was advising soaking your feet in Epsom salts or soaking your body in a tub. You can replenish it in about a month.
I'm pretty sure that Joe got me a tub just so I could soak in Epsom salts.
So hold on.
A good husband.
I can get magnesium because I'm taking these horse pill
and they're
things
gross.
of magnesium, taking 3,000 a day, 3,000 milligrams a day.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just getting a hot bathtub with Epsom salt and do the same thing.
You can absorb magnesium in a hot
The hell
tub.
am I taking these horse pills for?
Because you need a lot. But I would take the liquid one. I like the Trace Minerals liquid magnesium because they're easy to digest. It's liquid. I have poor digestion, so anything that it increases the absorbability, I'm in.
I got an amazing digestive system. It's because I clean my gut regularly, because I listened to somebody 8 years ago who said a clean gut leads to a healthy life, and that's why I haven't. Although I was diagnosed with COVID falsely, and by the way, I wanted to bring this up because you're American moms. The Department of Health contacted me yesterday. 15 days after my positive result, when I was supposed to quarantine
Was it false
for 10
positive
days.
too?
False
was it
positive,
not?
yes.
Because you had no symptoms.
No symptoms. None.
And you went and got another test after
Right,
it came out
exactly.
negative. Huh? The PCR tests don't work?
So I asked her point blank, because Lori, you've taught me. I go, well, the PCR test isn't that effective anyway, right? And she goes, oh, no. It's the most effective test we have. It's the quick tests you get at like Walgreens and stuff, those 15-minute tests. They can have fault, but the PCR test is almost accurate every time.
Well,
that's what she told me on the phone yesterday.
You might want to point her to Dr. Carrie Mullis, who invented the test, who said point blank on camera it was never designed to test for viruses. period. And if you are testing for virus, you should not be over a cycle threshold of 17. All of the cycle thresholds for the PCR tests up until Inauguration Day, when the World Health Organization conveniently decided to lower it on Inauguration Day, January 20. Prior to that, the cycle threshold was 45, which means that this microphone would test positive for COVID. So we have these extraordinarily inflated data numbers on false positives that have contributed to the hysteria. I'm not saying there aren't dangers, and
Of course.
last night these docs were telling us that India is having a horrible second wave right now.
They are.
And people are dying within 5 days. And, part of that is, my first question is, well, how many of those people were vaccinated? How many people are dying on re-exposure when we have 15 years of ferret studies of animal models when this vaccine was studied that show 15 years of dead ferrets because on re-exposure, after the vaccination on re-exposure, they all died. We are concerned about what's going to happen on re-exposure with people that are vaccinated, and we don't have any data because it's an experimental vaccine.
I just thought it was fascinating that I was supposed to, according to Advent Health, I tested positive on the 3rd of this month. I was supposed to quarantine for 10 days and not, and I monitored my temperature for the 10 days just in case. Never got over 98 degrees because I'm cold-blooded.
Yeah.
And so I did that. Never had any symptoms or anything. 10-day quarantine passed. The Department of Health contacts me 5 days after that. How concerned are they really? And then I go, so what do you need from me? She goes, well, you didn't have any symptoms or anything. You did what you're supposed to do. I mean, we're just going to close the file on you. Thanks for taking our call.
They must have some
Really?
idea, because as you were saying yesterday about, jumping the shark, I really think we're at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like the powers that be
information's
are
all
just,
over the place.
they're just throwing Fauci and Gates under the bus. It feels like they're just dumping them. I don't know what's going on. But because there's some weird stuff going on.
Pretty legitimate reasons to throw those two under the
Well,
bus.
for sure, but I mean the powers that be that were trying to put them up as knowledgeable leaders.
Yes.
There seems to be an awful lot of takedown. They're getting canceled a bit, it looks
Evidently,
like.
Biden asked a reporter to, jump in front of his truck the other day.
He
Did you
did?
not-
No, I didn't see
So
that.
a reporter asked if she could ask one more question. Break. We can.
Oh, let's
We
hear about
certainly
it.
Talk about it after the break. This is American Moms.
Is this on the news?
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA.
What news is
Video
this?
The source.
Attention all patriots. Conservative Watch USA is having an elite meeting at the Ocala Hilton this Saturday, May 22nd at 1 p.m. The keynote speaker is Katie Hopkins from the UK, surrogate for the Trump campaign. Also, Matt Brainerd, Director of Data for the Trump campaign. Also, J.C. Martin, Parliamentarian, Republican Party of Florida. As well, Anthony Sabatini, Florida State Representative. This Saturday, May 22nd, Ocala Hilton, 1 p.m. Go to Facebook, Conservative Watch USA, or pay at the door. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
We are
The American Moms.
Join us Monday through Friday
10:30 to 11 a.m.
on WOCA Radio
96.3 FM.
and 1370 AM, The Source. So that wasn't so bad, was it? See, you're going to like radio. It's a lot of fun. You can act, you have to talk. I can't, you have to respond. Just respond to me.
American Moms is brought to you by Stanfield Chiropractic. When asked, 1 out of 1 morning host on WOCA, that's me, says Formaggio's Pizza and Italian Restaurant is the best pizza and Italian in Ocala. Formaggio's is located at 1053 Northeast 14th Street. They're open for lunch and dinner Monday through Friday with lunch specials that change daily. They also are open for dinner on Saturdays. Dine in or carry out. Call 352-509-3661 so you can experience the deliciousness of Formaggio's Pizza and Italian Restaurant. Now I'm hungry. We're back with the American Moms, Vanessa and Lori.
Very hard.
It'd be really hard.
I have a sister-in-law that worked for the health department, and she said there were a lot of challenging aspects of her job.
Well, it would be difficult. I feel
Seeing
for
the
people in
children
that position.
come in and horrible situations, and you really can't do much about it.
So tell
other
us
than
about
report
the
stuff.
Biden gaffe.
So the Biden gaffe. So basically, he
Wait, is there video of this?
There is video. Oh, 100%.
Oh, I gotta go
And
look for it.
Obviously, I
It's
cannot
radio.
verbatim repeat it because my memory's bad. But I can remember the gist of it. So he is in this electric truck. This is this whole electric car thing he's pushing, which is fine. If you like an electric car, I can give you a great electrician. So anyway, he is in the driver's seat, and this reporter asks if she can ask one more question. I don't remember what it was about, but it was a reporter. Can I ask you, before you leave, about this whatever issue? And he's like, no, unless you want to get in front of my car when I'm taking off, basically, or something like that. Yeah. So basically, he's like, unless you want to jump in front of the truck while I'm pressing the accelerator.
So, would you like to hear it?
Yes, we would.
We can play it right now.
Oh, nice.
Stand by. We're going to play it
Nice.
right now. I can't believe that he actually said something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's trying to load. It's trying to load.
So when you brought up,
He was in Ford's new electric truck.
when you brought up the Bill Gates and Fauci being thrown under the bus, it made me think about that because I can, at least there's one person driving.
You ready?
That's willing.
Here it is. Here it is. Put your headphones on so you can hear it.
I've
Here it
heard
is.
I'm good. Well, now I'm like, I have heard it, but I'm
Okay, here we go. You ready?
They said they took it around, but they're not saying that. They're not giving me the quote.
Quick.
They're not giving me the
They
quote.
probably edited it out.
or
I'm
he
sure.
took off. So
They're not giving me the quote.
It's-
But it says that he said he apologized and was just kidding about running a reporter over.
that's cute.
It's cute. Special.
The president. Did Donald Trump ever threaten to run anybody over?
I don't remember him.
They would
I'm
have.
sure
They would have
someone-
called him out as a murderer if he had even joked about it.
He would. He did tell
Yes.
people to get on the Trump train, not in front of it.
Not in front of it. There's a difference.
Here's the exact quote. It goes, she goes, can I ask you another question? He goes, no, you can't. Not unless you get in front of the car as I step on it.
Oh my God.
He said, I'm only teasing, as laughter erupted. And then he gunned the truck and drove off.
That's very presidential.
So cute.
I would like an applause
Yeah.
for his presidential behavior. Anyway,
I'd like to know what's going on at the border. That's just
Sleep-
me. I don't
Sleepy
care
Joe.
about the truck.
Was Sleepy
I
Joe
wanna know what's
asleep at
going
the
on
wheel?
with the kids.
Was Sleepy Joe asleep at the wheel just then?
he was not asleep.
He wasn't,
No,
which is
I think
unusual.
that is pretty. Yeah, I don't.
We don't mean to
I don't
bash.
think
We
he's asleep.
support whoever the real president is. If somebody would just tell us who that is.
He is evidently my president, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I know there are people. There's like a Facebook thing, and people are like, "What do you hate that people say?" One of the biggest ones was, "It is what it is," because
Oh.
obviously it is. But anyway,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
what it is.
Well, I
That's how I
mean,
feel about
shoe
Joe
fits.
Biden right now.
Yeah.
So I want to. I'm gonna go light right now, and you can go heavy if you want, but I'm gonna go light. I have 4 kids, and every day they want to eat.
Shocker. What's wrong with them?
Every day those little suckers want dinner,
Bottomless pits.
and it's exhausting.
You'd have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Those kids would just let me not eat. So yesterday I used my age as a factor. I was like,
Oh,
you know
nice.
what, kids?
I'm
As
just
you
too
get
old to do
older,
this.
you don't need to eat dinner.
You need less and less food as you
You need
get
less
older.
food. I'm
That's
not
right.
even hungry. I can't even think about what to eat. Go ask
Yeah.
your father. Their father always says, I don't know.
Ask your
And
mother.
that's where it kind of ends with Joe. And then they end up not eating, or I end up making something like angry. I'm angry and I'm making dinner.
Yeah,
So I
you
need
can't
to
do
know.
that. I just said this morning to a friend. I learned in Ayurvedic school you can never cook when you're angry because then your emotion goes into the food.
Okay, well that's
Vanessa,
explaining a lot of behavior.
Here's a news flash.
Uh-huh.
They have food delivery services now.
Yeah. So I'm
They get
also
boring,
super duper cheap and really critical.
And like
I'm
good food.
so critical.
Yeah, you don't want to pay
Yeah.
good money for bad food.
Exactly. And
not
you're paying
good.
like 30% more, not because it's the restaurant's fault, but because the services are outrageous.
Right.
Yeah, it's convenience,
It's
and I'm
really
lazy.
hard. Yeah.
$40
and you're one person.
Five Guys burger is a little crazy.
When you are ordering for 6 people and they all have like champagne taste on their parents' budget, it's not. It's
Burger
not
You,
King, $200 delivered and it's cold.
$80.
Lori,
Yeah.
Lori will vouch.
Everything.
Lori will vouch for this. You've never seen me order food.
Oh, well. Listen, I might give you a run for your money. I order one of everything. I get teased a lot when we go out that I don't want one salad. I want all 3 salads. Like
Yeah,
if there's
try
3
it.
on the menu, I want to try them all.
better.
So I get it. I get what you're saying. I just so yeah. So what are other parents doing? What are you doing, Lori? Do you just feed him whatever the heck you want to eat And if it sticks, it sticks. And if not, he just makes his own or goes without.
It's interesting because when you get to the teen years, there does start to become an independence in food, right?
Oh,
They
yeah,
wanna
for
do-
sure. I've got two.
So I've noticed lately that I'll say, "Oh, are you hungry? You know, should we have dinner? Let's have dinner." The mistake is asking. That's what I've learned. You can't ask. You
Because
just
the
have to
teenager
put it
goes-
on the table and go,
teenagers
"Here's
goes,
dinner."
No, I'm good. Teenager will go, no, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. The teenager will say, "No, I'm good," and then as soon as I go upstairs to do some work,
Straight to the cabinet.
straight to the cabinets.
Yeah.
And cereal. They'll come in and find cereal bowls. I'll find cookie wrappers.
That may be a man thing, though, because
like,
Susan will ask me, Susan will go, "What do you want anything to eat?" I go, "No, I'm good." She'll walk out of the room, and I go right to the cabinet, open it, get an
Exactly.
oatmeal pie, a couple
What
of
you're
Pop-Tarts.
really saying is, I don't want to eat
What you're
a
making.
meal. I don't want to eat your food. I just want to snack.
Yep.
And snacking is not a meal. This is a conversation we've been having. Snacking is not a meal. So snacking has to happen in between meals. So he is responsible for eating whatever I put on the table 3 times a day.
Okay.
And
oh,
then
3
in be-
times a day you cook.
3 times a day. And then but
I'm a
sometimes no, because sometimes I'm a homeschooler. I'm a homeschool
Okay.
mom.
Well,
So if we were in school, I would be cooking 2 meals a day because he'd have lunch at school.
like if I'm being real, like once a month I'll make a big breakfast. I hope
Yeah.
they remember it for the rest of the month.
But I don't always do a big. I mean, we might do a bagel for breakfast, or we might do a
okay.
breakfast bowl, which is just like a cut up
okay.
apple and some cut up nuts and
Yeah.
some chia seeds and.
Maybe that's my problem. I can't do one thing. I have to do a spread. So maybe that's
Oh.
part of my
Maybe that's
own internal issues.
Part of your food wiring.
It is.
I
Mhm,
used
you
to
make
do
it
that when they were
all.
little. I would make like these snack trays that would have like carrots and cucumbers and cheese and fruit and like,
Yeah.
and I think actually they get used to that variety. They kind of get
Maybe that's
spoiled
it.
when you do a spread.
Right.
But I've had to have this conversation recently around food is fuel.
Right.
We don't waste food because we're throwing money away. So if we make food, we need to eat it or make less if we're not going to eat as much as we're
Absolutely.
preparing. And it's okay to snack in between as long as it's not within a half hour of a meal. You can eat whatever I've got in the cupboards except for that secret cupboard where I put the chocolate. But you can eat except for that. You can you can eat for snack within reason whatever
No
you want.
chocolate.
And then but you've got to eat the meals that I put on the table. And then on Friday nights he gets pizza because he likes to do pizza, while he's doing some coding with his buddies online or whatever.
There
But
you go. Okay.
but I do think there's a shift when they start hitting into
There
teen
is.
years, don't you think?
And well, when you have one teen, that's great because they're independent. When you have
Yes.
2 teens who will independently make 2 independent meals, and then you have 2
Yes.
10-year-olds that are looking at you like, well, why
Well,
didn't
what
I
about
get any
us?
of that?
Right.
Then that kind of like, and the teens don't want to cook
might
for
need
them.
to put like some
Everybody
martial
needs
law
a different meal,
in, or
in my house.
or maybe there's a system where like everybody gets to vote. Do people have like favorite meals? Do they like the same things? Because I know a lot of moms with bigger families, they're like, oh, they like different things, and I have to make 4 different dinners. I
Aiden
can't.
is dairy and gluten free, and
Mm-hmm.
she's allergic to shellfish. The rest of us don't eat gluten as a rule. We have issues with it, not celiac anyway, but issues. And Asher is picky. He has autism. He eats crunchy things.
Right, he
or
likes
mac and
crunchy.
cheese,
We
period.
like crunchy.
That's
yeah,
it.
Xander likes mac and
And
cheese too, but
Jackson will eat pretty much anything, but it doesn't matter what it is that I make. It's always not as good as it could be at a restaurant, or just not very good.
I think Jackson just likes
He
going
just
out to eat.
likes
He
to
just
be
likes
critical of me, too.
restaurants
Yeah,
too.
100%.
He likes to go out and be served and the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
experience.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's fryers at restaurants, and we
he
don't
gets-
we don't use fryers at home.
Sure.
really.
So he gets fried. Yeah.
And then Jed he's kind of a wild card. Sometimes he's all about what we're making, and sometimes he just wants to eat eggs.
Yeah.
It just depends. He
have
looks
you-
at the produce before you make the food with it.
Oh,
He's very
interesting.
critical of your
Quality of the
ingredients.
ingredients.
And I get this.
He's a little Anthony
subscription
Bourdain.
service, right? And it
Yeah.
sends me vegetables and fruits in a box.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Have you tried
Yeah.
any of? There's
Oh.
so many of these subscription meals now.
I have had
you tried them
6
all?
of them at a time.
Awful.
No, they were great. They're just none are organic.
There's some organic that are.
There's
out
one,
there.
and it was for the Stanfields who only eat comfort food or Cuban food.
Yeah.
It was very
Bland.
no exotic. We will say,
Oh,
like we
exotic.
don't step out of our comfort Cuban food area.
okay.
So it's meat and potatoes, it's some type of chicken dish, or it's some type of Cuban food. We don't do.
You've been
and
enjoying
I'm sure it's all delicious.
The American Moms
But we don't do any
on
of the other.
WOCA, the source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370